Claude Code is changing the game on how we build voice AI agents. We can now create voice AI agents instantly without having to spend hours building prompts, designing workflows, or configuring APIs and setups. All we do is just type what we want and Claude will build the rest. For example, we just have to type in Claude what our agent should do, what workflows should be configured, and Claude will build the entire voice AI agent. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a voice AI agent using Retell AI and N8N that is all powered by Claude Code. And if you don't already know me, my name is Ashton. I've been helping business owners implement voice AI systems to save time, cut costs, and drive growth. Also, if you do want to start learning voice AI completely for free, I have a free resource hub in the link description down below. It's got tons of free resources, tools, and voice AI guides. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Okay, so we're in Claude Code at the moment, and you need to make sure you are on the desktop version in Claude. And the reason for this is we need to give Claude access to our computer to locally host it on there, so it can locally host all of the files, all of the code, all of the commands on our computer. So make sure you are on the desktop version, not the browser version or the web version or the cloud version. Make sure you are on desktop. Now, essentially what we're going to do is in Claude Code, make sure to give it access to a file inside your computer so it can access all of your code nodes, everything inside a folder preferably. And what we're going to do is we're going to prompt the AI agent to access the API keys via Retell and N8N to create a voice AI agent for a law firm that is able to qualify and screen calls. And then once the agent has been successfully created, we're then going to ask it to add in a workflow that'll add a function inside Retell. So you can see how Claude will be able to create functions inside Retell, connect it to N8N, and then also configure the N8N workflow as well. So that's what we're going to be doing inside Claude Code. Now, literally the first thing and the only thing that we need to do is go ahead and prompt it. So I'm just going to be using a transcription thing at the moment, so I can just speak it into existence. It's a little bit faster. I'm just going to go ahead and prompt it at the moment. Create a voice AI agent inside Retell AI for a law firm called Trinity Law. The agent should be able to screen and qualify incoming callers. Ensure the agent screens the calls across these different departments of law, such as family law, personal injury law, business law, or domestic law. You can also make up the qualification process, as this is just a test as well, and ensure you use the API keys for Retell AI as well. So you can see I can literally just speak that, into Claude's prompt box right now, and Claude is going to figure out everything. So just make sure everything's right. And we'll also just change this to Retell as well. We'll just change these things because sometimes they'll... Okay, awesome. Now what we're going to do is just going to go ahead and click send, right? And that's literally it. So we can see that Claude is just going to break down the prompt. It's going to break out everything that it's going to be doing. And then from there, it's going to be creating all the files, looking at all the API keys, etc. So we can see it's asking to make sure it's logged into Chrome because it's going to be looking up the API approach first. And then from there, once it's returned all the API documentation, it will then process some API requests inside Retell AI, so it can then create the voice AI agent. So you can see we're going to allow it to query and allow it to web search at the moment. So you can see it's giving access to a web search. So what this is just going to be doing is it's going to be looking at all the API documentation, as I said before, and just returning it inside its memory. And then also a quick note as well, just make sure you always just click allow. It's just going to be asking this. It just needs permission, obviously, from you and from your laptop as well, just to create all these files and do all these web searches. So you can see Claude is just going to think out everything, just going to build out everything. So literally you just need to be here, provide your Retell API key, which is just what I'll show you how to get as well, and then just make sure you click allow. But Claude's literally just going to be doing everything at the moment. Okay, so a quick update now is we can see that it has the comprehensive API documentation. Now it's going to create a Python script that's going to set the law agent up for Trinity Law. And then it'll need to create both the LLM response engine and the agent, which is known as the prompt as well. So we can see it's creating a JavaScript right now, which is just going to return that and create all the API requests. Okay, so we can see it's successfully written the Python. So all we need to do is click allow. And then it's also going to ask our API key as well. So we can see right here, it's going to need the API key at the moment. So we're just going to go ahead and go to Retell and give the API key over. So once you're in Retell, go down to settings and then API key, and then you're just going to need to create one right here. It's just going to be a singular API key, and then we can just name it, create, right? And now you can go ahead and copy that, come back to Claude Code and say, this is my Retell API key, right? We can just put that in. So now what it's going to do is it's going to automatically run this Python code with our API key. So what this is going to do is it's going to obviously, as you can see, generate the prompt and generate everything inside Retell. So we can see it's replaced everything right here. So it's going to update the API key. Okay, so we can see it's updated the scripts as well. And now we are going to run it inside our computer. So don't worry about all this code really. It's just what's happening inside the backend and inside Claude's brain at the moment. But you just literally just need to be here and just click allow, and it's going to do everything for you. Okay, so we can see that the agent has successfully created the voice AI agent inside Retell. So we can see it's got the agent ID, LLM ID. So it created the LLM ID. It actually selected the voice and the persona. And then it's just given a overview of the agent. So if we come back into Retell up here to our agents, we can see that the agent has been created inside our workflow. So we can see the agent is actually, or Claude Code is actually gone ahead and configured the entire prompt. Now the prompt's actually very good. It even has the markdown formatting as well, which is really, really good and super good. So we can see it's got the, obviously, all the stuff and all the things that we told it to do. So it's got the qualification process, right? It's got the family law, it's got the personal injury law, business law, and then domestic law as well. So we can see that this has been generated. And of course, you can customize this and tell Claude to even change things and put itself in the prompt as well. So we can see it's got the call right there, and it's even configured the custom message as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to ask it to add in a function right here and connect it to a N8N workflow. And then after it's connected, we're going to ask it to build the workflow inside N8N as well. That is going to add everything to a Google Sheet and then send a Slack message, for example. So now what we can do is we can go, please add a function inside Retell to trigger every time there has been a successful screen and qualification. What am I spelling? And then we're going to say connect that tool to a new N8N workflow that will then add it to a Google Sheet and send a Slack message, please. Ensure you use the N8N API to create the workflow. Now, the reason why we put this here is sometimes Claude Code will actually go into the browser version. Whilst that does work, it just takes way longer and it's way less efficient. So if we use the API, if we use N8N's API, we can just easily go ahead and just create the workflows pretty much instantly. So this is our prompt right now. We can see, please add the function inside Retell to trigger every time there has been a successful screen and qualification. Connect that tool to a new N8N workflow that will then add it to a Google Sheet and send a Slack message, right? And then we'll also just put, ensure you update the Retell prompt to trigger the function correctly. Okay, so that's something that we can put in, and we can just go ahead and send that off now. So, okay, so we can see that Claude Code is now asking us for our API key. So to get that, it's very simple, right? Come into your N8N account, go to settings, and then you want to go to N8N API. By the way, you're going to need to be on a paid version of N8N. Then you can go ahead and create the API key. I'm just going to name this. Make sure it has everything, just for now. And then we'll just do no, actually we'll just do 30 days. Click save, and then we can click the copy, right? And then we're going to come back to our Claude code and we'll say, look, I'll provide them now. And then here is, right. So then we'll just go ahead and do that. And we can see that Claude now has an end-to-end API key, right? So now what it has done and what it's going to do is it's searched up the API reference via end-to-end just like it did with Retell. And then it's going to use our API key just like it did with inside end-to-end to create our workflow. So we can see now it's going to ask for our end-to-end instance URL. So to do that, you can come back to obviously your end-to-end and up the top in the browser, as you can see, mine is going to be that, right? So we come back, we can copy it, right? And put it into there. I'll just do dot as well. Okay, so that's going to be our URL at the moment. Sorry, I just stopped it for some reason. Enter that in there. So coming back into Claude, we can see, just go ahead and click allow. And now everything should all be good. So it should actually go ahead and create all the API requests inside end-to-end, create all of the updated prompts, etc. And everything should be good. So I'm going to come back to when Claude is done and we can show you the final result. Okay, so we can see that Claude has updated the integration and we can see it's created the end-to-end workflow. So if we come back into Claude Code, we come back to our settings right here, workflows, we can see that the workflow has been created, right? So you can see this has happened all automatically right here. And it is going to go ahead and send that. So we can see it's configured this at the moment. We're going to need to connect our Google account. It's very simple. Just create a new credential, right? And then you can also create a new credential for your Slack as well. And that's it. So you just need to connect up everything. And now if we come back into Retell, right? Let's just go ahead and just come out and refresh this page. We come back into the functions, right? We can see that that now has a function called right there, right? So we can see also if we check the updated prompt right here, we can see critical. After completing qualification questions before ending the call, you must use the submit qualified lead tool to send the lead information to our system. So we can see if we click into this custom function right here, it's got the webhook, it's got the description, it's got the JSON, it's got literally everything. This is built out all for us. Before we had to manually go ahead and do this, but now it can just be built automatically. So that's super, super cool. If we just go ahead and click update and everything is built out. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know if you want more videos on Claude Code and creating these voice agents. And let me know if you want more videos on creating more advanced voice agents, advanced workflows, scheduling, appointment booking type based agents. But without further ado, that'll be the end of this video and I'll see you in the next one.